Please bear with me on this one. I will show actual clips and also images from the game I'm speaking about, but it will be intermixed with footage of Arkham Knight due to a lot of allegations of false copyright claims and other copyright shenanigans around this that shouldn't be happening in modern day, and I will discuss that here. I was actually originally unsure if I was going to make this video because of a lot of the claims around this game. First off, what we are talking about here is a fan game that had the potential to be massive. And also, it was mainly designed by one person, and it was a proof of concept that this sort of Batman open world game could work outside of the Arkham series. Now, the reason that I was originally cautious to talk about it is because of all the claims around it, particularly copyright claims from Warner Bros., who, when this came out back in May, originally went through and allegedly actually copyright struck a lot of YouTube creators who were talking about this game. Because of that, before I get into it, I have studied law. I am not an expert, but I do understand fair use. And I know my rights with commentary and being able to cover things. I think it's worth mentioning that in the factors of fair use, the purpose and the character of this use is to educate you that this existed. It's also worth noting that the nature of the copyrighted work is not my own. I did not create this fan game. I am merely covering it as an outside party who is interested in it. And also that with the amount or substantiality, I can't even speak, of the portion being used here, I am only going to use some small clips and some still images that have been taken by other websites of this fan game, along with mentioning that there is really no effective use on the potential market for or value of this work, because it was already leaked and thoroughly analyzed, and I am only going to be analyzing specific portions and showing select clips and images from this for the use of analysis and discussion. But in case this is hit with a false copyright strike, please be sure to follow me on Twitter, and I will let you know, and we can lash out together and get it solved, because I appreciate that. I shouldn't have to go through all of that mumbo jumbo, but I'm already on the naughty list since I one time said I didn't like the marketing behind Gotham Knights. Before that, I had talked fairly irregularly, but still had talked to someone who worked at Warner Bros., and now I never hear a peep. So I don't think they like me. I don't really want to give them the excuse to strike my channel. When it comes to this game, it is called I Am Batman. This game was based on the Batman 1989 property. It was created mainly by one creator in order to boost their portfolio. This was by Osmani Gomez. He essentially had made it in order to show off his skills with Unreal Engine 4, along with just what he could do here and what he could make. There were other people involved, obviously, with this. This was not just a one-person project only. There was also someone behind the music, which I believe his name is pronounced Bonnie Baez. But essentially, this is a very, very, very small group of people, mainly one person, Osmani himself. This game is interesting. It starts you out in the Batcave. It was never released for public consumption, and he even said that it wouldn't be. But you can see everything that you can do here, including sitting down at the Bat computer in the Batcave. The Batcave seemed to me to be on the same level or more interactive just in this tech demo than it was in something like Arkham Origins, for example, which I think is pretty crazy. And you can take the Batmobile, it is that Burton Batmobile, from the Batcave, from Wayne Manor, straight into Gotham City and drive around. Now, mainly what we got to see in this tech demo was just that. It's a tech demo. It's walking around. It's a little tour of this version of Gotham. It's looking around. But this was a open world, Michael Keaton-esque Batman 1989 Tim Burton game. That's a lot of words to throw in there together, but the reason I'm doing that is because people refer to the 89 Batman in a lot of different ways. The Keaton Batman, the Burton Batman, the Burtonverse Batman. I've heard it referred to as just Batman 89. This is that continuity. This could have been incredible. One, just getting our hands on this alone, if we had, in terms of him releasing the demo, which he wasn't going to because of copyright, and also his own video of it was struck down immediately because of copyright by WB, with them allegedly going after anyone else who talked about it. I think they must have stopped because I have found reactions to it still up, but I guess a lot of them were struck when they happened. But anyways, He wasn't going to release this for that reason, and obviously that was a good idea considering it got struck down immediately. This, though, getting into the hands of players would have been really interesting. It's essentially just a Batman simulator in a way, or like walking around Gotham, looking around. There is not a lot to do in his version of the game because, again, tech demo. This was clearly just a passion project designed to show off his skills. You can see how good he is with lighting, with shadows. You can see him outside Arnie's bar. You can see him all over the place in the art museum where Joker was in the original 89 movie. The amount of attention to detail in this is astounding. And it's a real shame I can't show you better images or even better footage of it or longer because of, one, worrying about getting a strike on my channel, and two, also the fact that the original was pulled down, meaning all we have are re-uploads, which are of a lower quality in terms of pixel count and clarity. But this was something that could have been great. And what really bothers me about this is the copyright claims issue. I understand that a lot of this is the fault of the American copyright system, actually more so than companies. And here's what I mean by that. There are a lot of legal loopholes in the copyright law where if you can try and prove that the company itself did not defend their IP, their intellectual property, that they can essentially lose control of it at times. This is something that people have tried to argue and tried to do in the past. Because of that, you have all these companies very, very jumpy, always jumping on top of fan projects and shutting them down so that they can't be out there, so that someone can't come along later and claim they didn't defend their IP, they don't care about Batman, or they don't care about Batman games or something like that. Sadly, that's the world we live in. And these companies, I understand, are going by the rules that are set that greatly benefit them over the consumer. However, when I see something like this project that could have been great, that should have been something like Sonic Mania, where WB immediately said, hey, that's awesome, we're hiring you. Because with Sonic Mania, Christian Whitehead, who was the head of Sonic Mania, pun intended, he actually had gotten his start making fan games and ports of classic Sonic games. He was a huge fan, a mega fan, who devoted a lot of his free time, did not get paid, to doing these things for the community and for himself. What WB should have done here is looked at Osmani and said, oh my gosh, you are brilliant, you're hired. Help us make this a reality. Let's make that 89 Batman game. Let's do it. Let's build off the back of the proof of concept demo here, the tech demo that you did, and let's work with this. They could have very easily done the Arkham engine, essentially, the engine that Arkham Knight is in, which off the top of my head is escaping me because I'm very tired. They could have easily done something like that and recreated this and made it bigger, added in crimes, added in a story. You don't even need to bring in Keaton if you don't really want to. You could have a sound-alike or anything that you want to do with that and make this happen. This reminds me very much of the, many projects that have been canceled over the years, official projects by WB, with leaks of the Batman Arkham Legacy type follow-up with Damian Wayne, or with an older Batman, with leaks of all the Superman concept art that never went anywhere from WB Games. For some reason, things don't really get off the ground with WB Games a lot of the times. They're very, very slow to act. And I'm not sure if that was all AT&T when they were under them, or if it was something else, but it's very disappointing to me to look at something so passionate here, because I love those two movies. I understand Keaton was a killer. He did definitely, not the actor, but the Batman, that Bruce Wayne did kill people, and I get that to some people that's off-putting. But this was the Batman movies I grew up with, was 89 and obviously Returns, and to a lesser extent Forever. These were the movies that really, really got me interested in Batman. And the idea of walking around this world as that Batman, fighting crime. He even stands stiffly up like Keaton does in the Batsuit. The technology is future retro. All these things are just so interesting and exciting to see. And it's just so sad to see this kind of claim move prevent this from even being seen by a lot of the general public. It's very sad. I think, too, that with this, when I see something like this, and this is something I was going to say earlier, but I get off track because I I can't speak. But when I see this, it should have been the Christian Whitehead idea. Bring him on. Make it. Make it happen. This prints money. Do you have any idea how much money is generated by nostalgia marketing every year, especially for things from the 80s and 90s? It's crazy. That should have been what happened. Not an immediate copyright strike, not basically the video being pulled down by Warner Bros., not essentially the alleged striking of other people trying to just cover this through commentary, which is fair use and you can't stop, technically, at least legally. But, you know, if you have enough money and you're big enough, you can bully anyone into doing anything. That's what should have happened here, though. Bring them on. Make this happen. I think it's very disappointing, and to me, it comes off like you don't have faith in your own projects. To me, when I see this, I know there is the IP defense route with things like this, but it always comes off to me like your company doesn't have faith in what you're making. That you're afraid that someone like Osmani or someone else can come along and make something better. Something people are more interested in than Gotham Knights or Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League or whatever. It's the same thing if, you know, I saw this years ago with Star Trek. There was an entire movie, and I don't remember the name off the top of my head. It was a fan movie designed to sort of bridge the gap between Enterprise and the original Star Trek, and it was designed to be more in line with classic Trek. And instead of accepting it for what it was, a cool fan movie, and saying, hey, neat, good job, the company pulled it down and really went after them and kind of made it a ridiculous affair that it didn't need to be. When money is not being made off a fan project like this, it really comes off to me as a lack of confidence when you pull it down. And looking at this level of passion is really cool to see. I can only hope that someday we see something like this as an official game, because this is what fans want. Fans want something passionate. Fans want something big. Fans want something with heart behind it. That's why they love the Arkham games. That's why they loved Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, all as well from Insomniac over on the Marvel side. This is what people love, especially superhero fans, is passion, is a realized world lived in, something that feels alive. If you want to see more of this, be sure to check out, actually I left a link in the description below to some other outlets covering it, along with the re-upload of this. I'll either leave the link or I'll leave the search term to search. I'm not really sure how far I'm going to go in on that, but stuff like this is hard to cover because of those, I would argue, false copyright claims that I don't think are very legal. I believe they go against fair use, and they really alienate the audience. They alienate the people who are essentially now to your marketing branch. Batman sells, but if you piss off every single person who cares about him, one, it sells less, and two, no one's willing to promote your product for free, which is what companies now rely on. I don't like to call myself an influencer. I think it's douchey, but they rely on content creators who will basically shill for them, who will essentially get super excited and talk about these things over and over and over online and just get pumped. People like me, people like Slickmoth, people like Podcast Now, others, these are the people, K-Wing, I don't know him personally, but he's a big Batman guy. They're probably, I think, before all of us, especially me. When you start kicking the hornet's nest on that and just frustrating everyone by killing passion projects and alienating fans, I don't think it's a good look. But what was a good look was this game. It looked awesome. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I expected this to be shorter. I'm sorry I talked too much. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, on the copyright claims strike, actually, on other YouTubers being hit with them as well, apparently, at least according to them, on what you would want out of a game like this, out of what you want from another game, maybe. Anything like that, I'm very interested to hear your thoughts. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and as always, stay shui.